Right. Welcome to Berardi and Coke after a sobering defeat to an absolutely shit Southampton team. You've got myself, Jay, and OKB regular Gilly. How you doing, mate?
Could be better. Could be better.
Yeah, I'd agree with
that.
Deflated. Fucking hell. Let's get this show on the road. Right, well, I do enjoy that intro, to be fair. It's probably best thing I've listened to today so far. Oh, God, what an afternoon, eh? I mean, I don't know about you, but I were expecting a win today.
Well, we all did. Yeah, we'll not get into the predictions, but 0 points given out.
What, not even Rex?
Yeah, he went to draw.
Fucking hell, he's losing his touch, that lad.
I mean, we can start on a positive. The scum got beat.
Yeah, and that's always a good thing. But I'm more concerned about us than I am them, to be fair.
No, it's one of, I had a very quick look on 606 because I wanted to have a look at the stats because in actual fact we dominated possession. We had more than 50% possession. It didn't feel like it. I mean, we did nothing with it. But we did have that possession, and I wanted to just have a look through. And I don't know if, it might not even be called 606 anymore. That's just what it used to be called. You know, the phone-ins for BBC Sport and all of that. And I was looking at the bottom, and do you know what? It was overwhelmingly positive. It was Calvin will be back. Rafinha's looking fantastic. He'll be coming back on top of the world. And we're missing Bamford, who leads the line for us. And I'm thinking,
Jesus Christ.
We were shit. We were absolutely diabolical.
They're on the good drugs.
Well, but we exist in a Twitterverse, which is not a healthy place, especially when we're not winning.
No,
you kind of you wonder whether it's a truism. You put Calvin, you put Rafinha, and you put Bamford in that team today, and it is a completely different match. There's no getting away from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to look at it and think that there's any positives to take out of that today it's mind blowing. Really, it doesn't add up.
I can honestly say that that's the worst I've seen us play under Bielsa, and I don't see anything good out of that game. And I'll tell you something else. Rodrigo, I've always supported him. I've always thought he's a quality player. He'll come good. He had that good run at the end of last season. It looked like he might be coming good this season. He might as well not have been there today. He were useless. He were absolutely useless. And Harrison, he couldn't kick the ball. Like,
strange, isn't it?
That throw-in that Shaq did, and he were on the end of it, and he missed it. And it went to them, and they broke on another attack, and that just kept happening all day.
Do you know, they were really strange. They were a bit towards the end of the second half, and there were a ball that went over the top of somebody's head, and they killed it dead. And then moved on it, and I thought, "Oh, that's what we expect from Harrison." And it was Joffy. It was Joffy, and he puts out the air. He'd killed it dead, and then he had it. That's what we expect from Jackie. But to actually to do something with it is the elements that we wanted him to add in that he has done. To be fair to him, on average, he has done over the last season and a bit. He's added more to his end product, but today we're just really poor. It was really poor. Even on the other side, I think we almost had a shot on target when James were through. We didn't quite make a shot on target today, but we nearly did.
I can't believe the stats, honestly.
It's awful, isn't it? It really is.
Like at one point, they'd had 5 on target. We'd had nothing.
Yeah. We didn't have one on target all day. I think we had 3 shots.
Yeah, and they're shit. And that's what I can't get my head around. after the Watford game and the way we'd played in the 2 previous games, we looked like we were starting to get his act together. And today it feels like we've just gone like 5 steps backwards and all that's been undone.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Gilly, the broken positive J. I have.
And do you know, I would enjoy positive J.
Oh.
Because it was that, wow, if Jay can keep positive, where am I going wrong? And it made me reflect and think, I must be getting something wrong here. But I think it's gone the other way now. The broken positive Jay and everybody else were more negative. And now everything's just negative. Everything's just flat.
Fucked. Everything's fucked.
And they're now above us in the table.
Tomorrow, I know. If Newcastle win tomorrow or whenever they're playing, they're going to be level on points with us as well. And we're 17th.
I guess the one thing I would say about that is they're playing Spurs. Now, it would be funny if Spurs lost that game. But I don't see it.
That's true.
I don't see it.
We've got an interesting comment there from Miss Firth. Well, it's a good job he didn't come to the casino after 3 legs. Jay had a meltdown. Listen, love, right? I can only be positive for so long and shit happens. And, you know, put me in a combustible environment and you'll see it go off. That's all I've got to say about that.
So, I mean, you know, additionally, not only is it frustrating to see us playing so poorly and in a position where we expect a lot better from Bielsa's Leeds, not just in the output, not just in the results, but in terms of the performance. You know, we expect much more from a Bielsa Leeds. And what's even more frustrating is you can look at Brighton in the top 4. You can look at Brentford in the top 7. They're playing Chelsea tonight. I don't know what the score is at the moment, but it's one of those when the sides that we were outstripping constantly last season are the sides that have kind of turned it around, and it does feel like we've gone backwards. And I think the Rodrigo experiment, has that failed? It might be too early to say it's entirely failed, but it's not working.
I mean, he's playing up front now, and it's still not working. So,
you know. So I think he were given a lot of leeway on the basis that, you know, he's playing in the 10, he plays false 9 out up front. And that, you know, those comments are fair. And that good run that you mentioned at the end of last season did come when he was playing up front. But now he's playing up front and he's still playing poorly.
He's just not. It looks like he's changed position on paper, but his performances haven't altered at all.
Yeah.
Like, he's just doing the same shit. He's invisible. He might as well not be there.
Well, and honestly, you can look at him and you can look at Tyler, and you can't see much difference.
No, you can't.
And that's damning. And you can't see much difference between the two of them. Yeah.
And on that note, just show what Vicky was saying, but Roberts needs to go, she says.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, in capitals as well. She really means it. You know, we know that Bielsa stands by his players. We know that he does. We know that, you know, maybe even to a fault, he's got that loyalty for his players. But equally, without that, do we have the Bamford that we've got today? So, you know, rough with the smooth. We know the rough with the smooth comes with the territory of Bielsa. But when we can all see that it's not working, and we could all see that we needed the centre mid, and we could all see various things going wrong, and they're not changed. But the other side to it as well. Can you tell me the last time you remember us playing that formation that we played today and having a good performance?
Never. I don't think we ever play well when we change that formation. But that's the problem where when Calvin's missing, we just know we're not going to win a game, basically. And that should not be the case. As good as he is, that should not be like a sure thing. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be the case.
I agree, but equally, you put Calvin in. Yeah, all right, you put Calvin in there and we'll play better. But you put Calvin in there in that formation, and we're still a lot worse aside than when we play with the two at the back, and I think, or the 4 at the back, should I say? And I think that's one of those where we can see that we don't have the personnel. Really, more than anything else, we've got the personnel to play at the back, especially, you know, now that we've actually got some fit centre backs.
Yeah.
The problem is we've now got some fit centre backs when we didn't have any of them, but we had outfield players elsewhere. and now we don't have the wingers. Main striker, main winger, main centre mid, all out. We are going to be worse for it. Every single side in the world, if you take out their main player leading the line, their main attacking creative player, and their main centre mid, is going to be affected by that. But that's not an excuse for how poor we were.
It's we never seem to have a full squad, and that seems to be an ongoing thing all season, every season. And Rads has really sort of made himself look a bit of a twat with that thing about Forshaw now, because he might have thought he was being flippant at the time and it was funny, and it kind of was. Do you know what I mean? But it's starting to look like a massive fuck up now, isn't it? The fact that we never got a centre mid.
It is. It really is. I think when you reflect on the squad that we have, the fact that Forshaw's there and he's available, and we watched him against Crewe. He looked all right. When he came on today, I mean, there were a couple of short passes, but he looked like his normal tidy player himself. But we don't just want somebody that can come in and be tidy. You should be able to go out and spend 3 to 5 million on somebody that can be tidy and not give the ball away much. What we needed was somebody that was... Yeah, exactly. What we needed was somebody to come in with dynamism that were going to lift the squad, that was going to push us forward, that was going to improve the starting 11. I think that, the Rodrigo De Paul stuff got so drawn out, and I think the club had kind of made it clear that if when they were first in for him, if it had come off, they were in for him, but they couldn't afford him at that point. And the follow up, he was always going to be too difficult to get because he was going to end up in the Champions League, which he did. Yeah, and I think the club was kind of open about that. They were never really making strong overtures that second close season. They were never really in for him. I think that was all. We were so desperate for him because he would have been amazing for us.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's that level of player that we need. That's what we need.
We have to step forward, and we're not going to do it without that. So we can't rely on Forshaw because, as solid as he is, he's not anything special. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. He's a solid player. He'll do the job, and he will have a good game here and there. But he's not somebody that's going to change games. He's somebody that'll play his position to the best of his ability. He'll be there to be solid. He'll do his best, but he's not a game-changing player. And we could have done with somebody in the middle who is, because we've got nobody at number 10 that's special. We've got nobody, on the bench that's special that's going to come on and change anything at the moment, apart from maybe Joffrey if he gets a proper chance, or Somerville. But there's still too inexperienced.
You're reliant on
players
kids
that you'd rely on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, you look at other teams' benches, they've got established players to come on. We don't. We're just threadbare. We've got a kid that we signed from Celtic who's 17 on the bench today, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He's not ready to play in the first
that's
team.
Not right. No, I do you know what? That's how you damage players early on in their careers.
Yeah, it is.
Throwing them into that. And being reliant on... If you're going to start a winger like Somerville, where you're going to put him in the cup, or you're going to play somebody else in the cup and play him in a league game and actually say, look, I'm going to show faith in you, go and show us what you can do. That's one thing. Doing it when we're threadbare and we're bringing on Somerville and we're bringing on Joffrey because we've got nothing else.
Yeah.
When we're so flat and we're 1-0 down and there's 10, 15 minutes left of the game, it's the entirely wrong context. I'd almost rather we didn't see him or bring him on earlier. Yeah.
Because all the
changes earlier, I don't bring them on.
Defeat and hardship.
Yeah, without much of a run at it. Yeah.
It's like somebody else has played 70 minutes and they've failed. Now you get on for 20 minutes and I want you to turn this round for us. It's like, they're going to run their hearts out, trying desperately to make an impression, but there's no time. You can't put that on them, on their shoulders at that age.
It's fluke then. I mean, this is going to sound really harsh. But you look at Jack Clark, came on, created a goal, scored a goal in the first 3 or 4 appearances as a substitute, and looked like, it did have an impact. He had an impact. He was brought on and he had an impact. I mean, it's an entirely different context, bearing in mind the level that we're now playing at compared to where we were when he was coming on. It's an entirely different context and prospect. And the expectation levels are entirely different as well. So you look at what he did, and then look at where he is now. And that part of that might have been us. I mean, a lot of that is Spurs anyway. But equally, there were a player there that should have been nurtured and wasn't. And what we really can't afford to do, we've invested so heavily in the infrastructure and in the youth squad. We've talked at length about how it is that you give them the grounding that they need to be able to make it in the game, and whether that's going out on loan, whether that's we need to change the system. I don't want to get into all of that and tell all of us here about how Adam was the one that came up with it and all of that bullshit. But there's that transition that's looking like it's really difficult at the moment, and it's all the more difficult given the level that we're now playing at in the Premier League. We wouldn't have been able to sign him without being in the Premier League, though. That is the other side to it. But bringing them on in that context just isn't right. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. And if they come on and they get a goal, then great. But if they come on and don't, then they're going to reflect back on that and say, I've missed my chance. And that's not right.
No. And to throw them into the fire like that when we're playing that badly, it takes something really special to make a difference. It's an impossible task. And it's too much pressure, I think.
It is a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot to shoulder at that point. I mean, there's always been that age-old argument of if you're good enough, you're old enough. But I think it really does hinge on what happens in those first in the big moments in your first appearances. And if the big moments go your way, then great. And if they don't, then that can have a real impact. And actually, it can set them back a year or two.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that those changes should have been made earlier. If they were going to be made at all, they should have been made earlier and actually give them an opportunity to get involved. We saw Joffrey come on, and I know that he took his penalty really well, but he came on in the cup. He didn't get a touch, and he will have reflected on that and blamed himself. If a player comes on up front and doesn't get a touch, you can't blame the player himself.
No,
that's the feed into him. So
yeah, exactly. It doesn't stop a player beating himself up, does it?
Exactly, especially an inexperienced one.
Yeah, that's it.
So, so I'll ask you a question then.
All right.
Find a man at match.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. I can't even say the ref because he was shy and put 5 minutes extra on for us to sit through. I'm going to give it to Rodrigo for going off. That's literally all I've got.
I mean, we faced quite a few shots, and Meslier only conceded one. I like seeing Llorente play. I think he's a good player. I was worried, we'd had this thing before about, is it that he's made of glass when he gets injured a lot? Or is it actually a bottle thing? And there's a couple of people in our group chat that do think it's a bottle thing.
Yeah.
So when he'd overstretched himself, and their attack, I can't remember which one. With Borjo, I can't remember. Anyway, they were both down, and you're thinking, well, that's Llorente, so he won't continue. He'll be off now. And he didn't. He came back, to be fair to him. I like. Oh, we've had a couple. So Russ is saying Llorente. Smarty is saying Messier.
Don't know who he is.
Messier. Without him, we'd be really shagged. But we're talking about Llorente. We're talking about Meslier. We talk about defensive players.
Yeah,
because that's all we had. We only lost 1-0.
Yeah, that's true,
and that's terrible. And do you know what? Without Vicky also named Llorente, and James. To be fair, he did put a good shift in. I didn't have much up front, but he put the work in.
Smart. It's an iPad.
So yeah, I mean, the two of them were the top scorers in terms of the scores given on the BBC website. Meslier got 6.18 and Llorente got 5.46.
Wow,
normally what we've done is, well, exactly. Normally what we would do at this point is we'd go through all the players and give our scores, but I really don't want to.
No, I'm just giving everyone a blanket 5.
I think that's generous.
I mean, do you know, Llorente is great. He's a great player. His passing's awesome. He'll run with the ball. He's a really good ball playing defender. But I wish he would stop pulling fucking shirts in the box because at some point he's going to get pulled up for that, and we're going to give a penalty away. And he does it all the time. He does it really obvious as well. Like they'll be 3 feet away from him, and his arms out like that, and he's got hold of them. And honestly, he just needs to stop doing that, and then his game would be pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he's our best centre back. I don't think. There's an argument that says that Strike will be better in time, but at the moment, Llorente's our best centre back. So it would be good to see him back. Yeah, it just so just looking at the other end and kind of backing up what we're saying. So you need to take the subs out of it. So Forshaw got a 3.67 and Somerville got a 4.63. But they do a sliding scale based on how long they were on the pitch. They don't take it into account the fact that they kind of score it on what they do well. But they don't take into account the fact that they only had 20 minutes to do it in. But Rodrigo got a 4.4 and Roberts got a 4.03.
Hang on. Derek Moore says, what the fuck did we just watch? Well, Derek, it's nearly Halloween and Leeds put on an early horror show, so...
So I mentioned the stats I was looking at before. So we had 54% possession. It was the only thing in our favour.
We actually had more possession.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We had 54% of ball. Didn't feel like it, did it?
No.
We had 3 shots to their 19. We had 0 on target to their 4. We had 1 corner that Harrison won in the second half that nothing came from anyway.
I don't want to hear no more. It's just too much. it was just so bad. Why? Why are we playing so bad? I don't get it. What's going on? Has Bielsa extracted everything out of these guys and they've got nothing left? Is that it? Or is there something wrong in the camp or what? Well,
so one of the unknowns at the moment, and it is an unknowable, and do you know what? I've seen some rumours I don't want to repeat, but Dallas is so off the boil at the moment, and it's so obvious that Dallas is off the boil because of the heady heights he got to last season.
Yeah.
It's really obvious when he doesn't play well. And there were times last season that it was his dynamism, it was his running, it was his work rate that it didn't carry us through games, but it focused. He became a focal point of the endeavour, and then lifted other people. And the players around him seemed to be galvanised by the way that he played football. And when that's not there,
it's
that's
almost
really
like a second captain was Dallas.
Yeah. And when that's not there, it's really obvious. And I think at the moment, that's the case. I don't know what's going on in his private life. There seems to be something. He missed the Northern Ireland game for personal reasons. I don't really want to dig at that.
I mean,
but if there's something going on in his life, we ought to. I mean, I know that it's difficult because of the squad depth that we've talked about and the fact that we only had kids on the bench. But when we had we were missing centre backs, but we had a full complement of the rest of the team. We were still playing him every game.
Yeah. And if he's got something going on and his head's not in the game, give him some time off.
Yeah.
Let him get straight and come back.
Because he might be sorted by now. If there was something going on in his head that a break would gonna help him with, he might be back to his old self if we'd have actually given him that headspace.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, Bielsa knows his players. He knows what people need, but we can only speculate from the outside. And to me, I think if he's got something going on, give him time to sort it. If that means going back home to Northern Ireland, or if it means something in Leeds, whatever, just give him time to do what he needs to do. And I'd rather have him gone for a couple of games and have the best Dallas back for the rest of the season than carry on pushing him and having him playing at a low level because he's just going through the motions,
Yeah. And exactly that. He looks like he's trying. I would never say that his work ethic is still there, but his output's just at that lower level. And if that's something going on in his head, we need to give him that space. And try and get him back to the level that we know he's capable of, because at the moment that's not where he is. I think
you can see he cares.
Yeah, yeah. I think that there's two final things to say from me is Southampton, fair play. They deserve that win. They were the better side.
Oh yeah, can't take that away from them.
But you said Halloween were coming up, and I think shooting might not be too strong for somebody that's going to wear no socks, white trainers, and a full suit. And I'm not having any of that from Hasselhutl today. Absolutely none at all of that. He is not Usher. I'm not having any of it.
Oh dear, I didn't notice that.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was really bad. No socks, bright white, only white trainers, and the full suit with waistcoat.
I never saw his trainers.
Well, there's no excuse for that. Absolutely no excuse for that.
That's outrageous. That is absolutely outrageous. He doesn't deserve any points after that. I'm just going to bring up what Russ Vernon said. Some rumours, reports that Bielsa's going to go to Newcastle. Sorry, Russ, that's rubbish.
Absolutely not. Do you know, I would not be surprised if there were rumours going around that he might leave. There is absolutely no. I will stick my neck out. I will show my ass in Woolworths window if he goes to them, because I don't think they're the kind of club he would join. I don't think it's the kind of regime that he would join. And equally he joined us because he saw that there was a long-term project there for him to achieve within that really appealed to him. And I don't, he's not somebody that's going to go in and just splash the cash, and that's all they're going to be looking for.
Can Rodgers, they'd get him in, right, and they'd say, right, who do you want? And
Tyler Roberts.
He'd buy Tyler Roberts and Stuart Dallas off us, and like they'd have this pot of like 500 million to spend, and it's just like, no, we don't need that. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, just get rid of them wheelie bins that you've been putting players in the training ground. That's all he'd want. He won't buy anyone.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any of that. Rodgers, I've seen heavily linked several times, and I think that's a great shout. With a load of money,
it said that he's not
he could generally be there. Well, I've seen him linked. I've not seen him say that he would be interested in the job, but that sort of manager, somebody that's clearly a capable coach, but also as an eye for a purchase as well. I think
as a manager that's come so close to winning the Premier League, and to then go and take another team and be up there, but not quite have enough behind them to sort of get over that next step, I think that he'd jump at the chance, mate, personally, to manage a team that's got unlimited resources like that, because he could build a right side.
He could, and anybody going in there and doing that. Coach. Yeah, and anybody going in there and doing that, they're going to be a legend up there forever.
Oh, God, yeah. They're going to be as much of a legend to them as Bielsa is to us for getting us out of the Championship.
So,
if not more so to them.
It's a real opportunity for whoever takes that, but there's also going to be a huge amount of pressure on as well, because if you've got unlimited, you can never reflect back and say, if we'd have made these signings and if we'd have had the right finances available and all of that sort of stuff, nobody going in there has got that excuse. Basically, It's an open checkbook.
It is. But it'd be funny as fuck if they go down this season. Or if they
the
go
most
down
expensive championship squad ever assembled.
The Saudis say, fuck this, we don't want the championship team, and they sell it again. That'd be hilarious. It'd be just the sort of thing that happened to them if you listen to
well, aren't they in for Inter as well?
Yeah. But they've had it hard, Gilly. They've had it hard.
You've got no idea.
Staying in Premier League every season, and if they go down, they come straight back, and it's a terrible existence.
Nah, not having any of that. Absolutely not. They can all piss off. Yeah, and I think they can all piss off. Is a good way to end.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think we've dissected this shit show enough, and there's not a lot more to say, really, is there? Just here's hoping that we come out fighting for the Wolves game, because we need some points.
Yeah,
whether we like it or not, we're in a relegation battle now.
Well, I went 3 or 4 weeks saying I think Wolves will do well this week because I think Jimenez will start firing. And he has now started firing just before we're going to go play him.
Yeah, of course he has.
He's scoring for Mexico as well now.
Just for Adam.
Oh, God, can you imagine? And he's top at league as well.
I know.
Oh God.
This is an hard season so far.
It
on
is.
many levels.
It is. Oh God. Anyway, right. So one positive that we can finish on, there is a competition now live. If you go find us on our socials, you'll be able to see how to enter. But there is a classic shirt. It's behind the green screen, and I'm not messing about with it now. But there is the shirt. I think it's 2000 to 2002 when we were in the Champions League. It's the white Strombo one with the collar on. It's not a raffle or anything. You can just win it. Somebody's gonna have their name drawn out of a hat. So it's subscribe to our YouTube and retweet and do all of that stuff. So go have a look, and good luck to anybody that enters.
Yeah, good luck, guys. It's a decent price, to be fair. It's one of the best shirts, I think.
Yeah. I like it so much. That's now my second one. I got two of them.
I think we'll have the main pod Tuesday as usual, won't we? And we've got an in off the VAR coming up because Carl went rogue and decided he's doing it every week.
Yeah. So, apparently we're doing them weekly. And and there might also be a combination of or an amalgamation of two joining together. But we'll work through the details on those and see what's what. And keep an eye on the socials and you'll be able to see what's coming up.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what's happening with that. But yeah, it's been a sobering experience today, and thanks for joining me, mate. It's I'd like to say it's been therapeutic, but I'm probably just going to go get smashed and eat some bad food.
Enjoy.
I'll try my very
best. And everybody else, don't do anything that we wouldn't do.